You're entering a no judgment zone. The following show is real and raw, and everyone is encouraged to speak their mind. This is the Immigrant Experience, a program we hope will have an impact on the future of newcomer immigrants and Canada at large. An open platform, one that welcomes everybody. This is the Immigrant Experience. And now your hosts, Emmanuel and Ruben.
Hello and welcome to the Immigrant Experience podcast. I'm your co-host Ruben and
Emmanuel Coco.
Hello and welcome to today's episode. And today's episode we are happy to be joined by an amazing guest. Her name is Hala. And as immigrants we come to this country with different dreams, different visions, having different experiences. And today we are very happy that we are having an amazing guest. Her name is Hala. And she'll be sharing with us an immigrant experience here in Canada. Welcome, Taha, and thank you for accepting to talk to us.
Thank you, Ruben, for the invitation, and I'm very happy to be here to share the story that I've been through, and that I know that many immigrants like me have experienced. So I'm here to not just talk about the challenges, but also to give a message to all immigrants on how to overcome those challenges.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, that would be a very good lesson for them to learn from my experience as well.
Oh yeah, and trust me, that's the main goal of this podcast.
Yeah.
Is trying to create a platform where we can share the experiences and getting even those who are coming this year, they get to learn from your experience. Then get a road, save their time.
That's the hope. Is that they can learn from the mistakes that I made, from all the blocks that I had to overcome, and hopefully they can use what I learned to have a better immigrant experience.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Really
How is Ottawa? How is Ottawa?
Well, the weather wasn't very welcoming, so I'm not sure how to feel about that. But it seems like a beautiful city, although a little bit too quiet for my taste.
It's a quiet city.
Comparing to Toronto,
compared to Toronto, I'm a big city person. I'm from Casablanca, so it's very loud, very big, and I'm used to loud sounds. So if I don't hear loud sounds and a lot of crowd, I don't feel at home. So
Then Toronto is a perfect match for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I walk down the streets and I feel like I belong. This is my home. I never lived anywhere else.
Oh yeah, and maybe first thing first. Who is Hala? And maybe you can share your name, your background.
So my name is Hala Ouarrak. So I'm from Morocco, born and raised. For 29 years, I spent my life in Morocco, and although I had the idea of living abroad, I was never able to do so until until I finished my PhD, and then I was able to get my visa to as a permanent resident to get to Canada. The reason I moved was it's not because my situation was difficult, because I actually had a very good job. I was teaching at a university, working as a project manager. Like my situation wasn't bad in Morocco. It was very good. The issue that I had is that I felt that I wasn't learning anymore. That there was things were repeating itself at work. So there's a culture of just sticking with the routine and not trying to improve, not trying to move forward, and that's against my philosophy and my and who I am. I decided that I needed a change, that I needed to move from there. So that's why Canada happened. Now, obviously, it wasn't just a whim. I had some Canadian friends who talked me into it, so they were like that I would be a perfect fit because of who I am, and they said that with my qualification I shouldn't have trouble finding a job. And I did my due diligence. I contacted pre-arrival services to try to get their advice on how what I should do to prepare. Some of them did give me the right information, to build my network, to work on my resume and whatnot. Others were like, no, you won't have a problem. You don't need to find a survival job. All you have to do is just get yourself down to Canada, and everything should work for you. Like that was the feedback that I got. Again, not all of them, but some of them didn't have the right information.
And maybe not to cut it, but to take you back. You said you finished your PhD. What is your PhD in?
So my PhD is in applied mathematics and automatic control. So my application was in robotics. So trying to use control theory to give a robot automatic reflexes to move from one step to the other. And to avoid obstacles. And with tech jobs coming up, and all that dream, we're moving digital. So it was the right move for me to come to Toronto because it is the hub of IT and tech. It is the international hub. So that's why I chose Toronto, because I did my research and I knew that's the place for me. But I was actually surprised that when I got there, there wasn't much response from recruiters or companies when I'm applying. And it took me a while to get feedback, even from professionals on LinkedIn who told me that I should go for the PMP. So the PMP is the Project Management Professional certification. So that's a must-have for anyone who wants to work in project management. Although some postings don't require it, I was told that I need it in order to even get an entry-level job. And so I set myself to go and get it. And while I was preparing for it, I was also taking a bridging program with Ryerson University.
In Toronto.
So, in Toronto, yes. So bridging program, it's a program that is offered by the government, to new immigrants. So it is somehow to bridge the education, the gap, basically. The program was beneficial because I was able to have amazing mentors who helped me boost my profile, make very important connections to help me not just improve my image on LinkedIn, but also to advance my career. So I'm very grateful to my mentors from Ryerson.
And maybe before you go to Canada and then Toronto, can you walk us through how was your journey? How did you came to Canada? You came as a skilled worker, or
as a federal skilled worker. I was I have because I have a PhD and I'm also an engineer in industrial and logistics engineering. And also I was at the same time teaching and working. So I had enough experience to qualify for the federal skilled worker. And it was the easiest process ever, visa that I've ever seen. I actually was able to get my visa in 6 months-ish.
That was fast.
It was fast.
From an African country, that's very fast.
That's very fast. I know. I couldn't believe it myself, but so that told me that my profile is needed. That was the impression that I got. If I got it that fast, means that
they want to.
I'm wanted. So that's why it was a surprise to me that when I got here that I wasn't even getting a call. All I wanted is just to have a face-to-face, a chance to present my story and sell my my profile. I wasn't given that chance.
And for Christ's sake, you're Moroccan. I test in Africa, we usually say Moroccans are very good salespeople.
I actually worked in sales. I was slowly on the side when I was as a student in Morocco. And and I kept it a long while working. And actually, that's what helped me get my first survival job here in Canada.
Moroccans are very good sales. Whatever they're selling, you'll buy it.
That's true. That's true. I'm always able to sell even without trying. I'm just talking, and people want to buy, and they're interested. And they're like, oh, that's interesting. I need some more of that.
Yeah, and that's a very good skill even to selling yourself to like jobs and
exactly. Like all I need is just this encounter. Like I'm good at selling anything, not just myself, but also any products. You can give me any products, I can sell it to you.
Oh yeah. And maybe another question, a follow-up question. Before you came to Canada, like did you take any pre-arrival employment program based in Canada?
Some of the pre-arrival services had online courses, very extensive online courses that I took. I took all of them. Like I didn't leave anything to chance. Like I learned about the Canadian workplace, the culture, what is expected from me, even in terms of dress, in terms of how to behave, and whatnot, and how to respect boundaries and so on. I didn't leave anything to chance. Like I'm a researcher and an engineer, so this is my forte. Like that's what I do best.
Going into details and making sure all the boxes are checked.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, a question for you: when you came to Canada, at what point did you have that cultural shock that your expectations were not meeting your reality?
Honestly, I never had a cultural shock. Because as my friends would say, that I am sort of not really Moroccan in my head, like that my personality is really not Moroccan, like because Moroccan like have this tendency of saying the right thing and smiling even when they really don't want to and whatnot. This is not my philosophy. I am brutally honest. I say things exactly as they are. I don't care if the person doesn't like it. And that is not acceptable in Moroccan culture. Like that is considered disrespectful in Moroccan culture. So that's why like when I finally got here, I felt like I was going back home. Like I was coming to a place where I can just be me. And like I can be honest, I can be who I am. I don't have to pretend to smile or whatever. Like I can do whatever I want. And that was actually, it felt like I was going back home rather than leaving home.
And with you say your manager, like you had management experiences.
Yes.
Do you mind telling us maybe what were you doing back home before you came to Canada?
Yes. So the first project that I worked on was a governmental project in raising awareness about the danger of plastic. So before the project, plastic was used widely in Morocco. I'm talking about the black plastic, the dangerous kind. And it was widely used. No one was aware how dangerous it is to the environment. So the project was on two phases. The first phase was just to have an exposition where we have visitors coming in, and we teach them about the origin of plastic and some alternatives to plastic and the danger of how the plastic endangers the environment and kills the birds and whatnot. So that was the first phase, and it was an amazing success because we got we went beyond the number of visitors that we were targeting. So we were targeting at least 3,000 students. So we got more because we got requests from schools that wanted to come to the exhibit. So we didn't have to look for schools; they were requesting to come to the exposition, and we were able to do this in the major cities of Morocco. So we repeated the exposition. The second phase was to target stay-at-home mothers because they're the most influential people, part of the society. And we were actually astonished to see that when we went to the far countryside and we tried to teach them about plastic, we realized that they never use plastic, that they're actually already using alternatives. That was amazing. to discover. That it's actually the modern side of Morocco that was that wasn't aware of the dangers of plastic, and that the ones in the far countryside who probably never went to school actually were very, very aware of the danger of plastic and were using alternatives.
Like the pretty much even here, like the indigenous communities are way advanced and they're very sustainable.
Yes.
Even whatever they're doing, and they live with nature.
Yeah, their approach towards environment is very friendly.
And thanks to the project now, it is illegal to use the black plastic in Morocco. So everywhere you go in any supermarket, you won't find that plastic in the supermarket.
That's exciting.
That's amazing.
You're part of that advocacy.
It was amazing. It was amazing to feel that that I have an impact on the lives of others. And changing the way we treat our environment, because let's face it, we are destroying Earth.
Absolutely. And how many years did you work in that project?
5 years.
For 5 years.
5 years. How long have you been in Canada?
2.5 years.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And maybe going back to when you first came to Canada.
Okay.
Have you, in your journey, like looking for jobs and writing resumes and sending job applications, what steps have you taken to make sure your resume catches the attention of the employers?
I actually hired a professional resume writer before coming to Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, I contacted from Canada, like a professional resume writer.
Like here in Canada?
Yeah, and I actually paid $400 for that. Just to be sure that my resume fits the Canadian standard. I didn't want to leave anything to chance. I was like, okay, $400, but at least I know that there's nothing, that I'm missing out in terms of the requirement. I contacted them and they helped me write it. Obviously, we had to write it together because the writer has the English level but doesn't have the knowledge. Exactly. So we wrote it together, and that's what I was using when I got here. I also had joined the PMI mentorship program, and I was matched with a mentor who helps me greatly, especially in preparing for the certification. So he gave me very good resources, in how to prepare for the PMP and whatnot. But I was doing networking, a lot of networking, and the advice that I was getting is go get the PMP. That was that was the advice that I was getting.
I was gonna ask you that, with the help of the resume you did that help you? How helpful was that resume when you
not much, because it only got me the survival job. But I only got the survival job by downgrading my resume, so by taking out the PhD part. So I had to take that out in order to get the survival job as an account manager in sales.
And that's a very good point. So, sending a resume with a PhD in a job that doesn't need PhD, then they consider you
absolutely
overqualified.
I mean, even without the PhD, I was considered overqualified.
Why is that?
My manager was worried that I wouldn't stay with them.
Okay.
And the only reason I was able to get the job is telling them that I actually didn't plan on leaving for at least a year. So,
okay. Then they know. She's here to stay, not just to.
So basically, that's how I was able to get the job, because he was, even without the PhD, as far as he was concerned, I was still overqualified.
And the job. I don't get into the job you're doing right now, but with whatever you're doing right now, and is it your dream job? What you wanted to be doing right now?
I am in phase 1 in my dream job. Yes.
Okay. That's beautiful.
I was gonna ask that the program you took afterward, the employment program,
the bridging program.
Yeah, the bridging program. Yeah. How would you consider that helped you through the process of? Was that helpful through the process of getting
It helps me get a very good connections.
Okay.
Yeah, in terms of connections and building my network, it was crucial. To me. Yeah, especially with my mentors. Like my mentors were amazing. They helped me, boost my profile on LinkedIn. Made really good connections. Helped me, meet with recruiters and whatnot. Like they did everything they could to help me get, find a position.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And maybe just to follow up on that, given the period that you have been in Canada, have you maybe go to workshop to resume making, resume building?
No, I didn't need to do that because what I realized is that the issue with my application had nothing to do with my resume.
Okay.
Like I've actually had to show my resume to one of those services, and they told me there's nothing we can tell you to improve on. I was actually told this,
So definitely your resume you made when you came was actually good enough.
It was actually good enough.
Oh yeah. And how many jobs have you sent your application? And how many?
I can't count them. Like more than hundreds of applications.
And how many did you get a response from about giving you an interview?
No, none.
And did you try applying for jobs which are related to your
any kind of job that is related to my field? I have many fields. I have industrial engineering. I have supply chain. I have project management. I tried all.
Oh yeah, and I had somewhere that sometimes I don't know if you know of career stagnant, like stranded in a career, so that you may take a survival job that is not within your career field, then pretty much get a lot of experiences there. Then you're pretty much stuck there. You cannot apply for a job within your career. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And do you find it that way?
No, I mean, basically get into, I'm still struggling to get to these, supply chain industry and, because I don't have, experience specifically in the supply chain. Although I was teaching, supply chain management and Lean Six Sigma, so that's part of my qualifications. But it was, once I was able to talk to the hiring manager directly, I was able to get positions in IT. So, as a contractor.
That's good.
That was the advice that I got from the CEO of Agile Club Consultant, who met with me and told me that I'm actually better off being a consultant than trying to be an employee.
So
and he was right. So
definitely. I feel I've had that story many times before from people who came here with a high level qualification. They end up resorting to maybe starting their own consultancy or maybe starting their own projects, which are geared towards what their education.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why now I have my own company in IT consulting.
Oh yeah, that's great. If they can give you a job, create one.
And sometimes too, did you find the barrier of Canadian experience being having Canadian experience a barrier to you getting a job?
It was definitely a barrier at first. When I didn't have a Canadian experience, I wasn't getting any kind of responses.
Oh yeah.
Nothing. And then once I started working with the survival job, and I got the PMP, then the advice was split. Some of them were telling me, "Oh, you're great, but you're overqualified," and the others were telling me, "Oh, you just need to keep trying. You will get that one response that that wouldn't shut the doors in your face."
And even putting the survivor job you talk about, even getting that, you still needed a Canadian experience or some connection. Did you?
Not really. After that, it was just trying to find the entry job, or just talking to a hiring manager so that they can see that I have the qualifications. It was no longer an issue that my experience is international.
And sometimes getting into a job, you really even a dream job, like getting to one job at a time, then build up from there.
And build up,
talk to people and getting to know. And sometimes like the best, like most of people find their jobs through like friend reference. Like getting to hear from another person. Then
my friends tried. Like I made friends here, and they tried to make referrals, but it gets stopped at the very early stage. Normally through referrals, I'm supposed to get at least one interview, and it didn't happen. Like I tried with different companies, and it didn't happen.
And you said you're teaching back in Morocco. Have you tried maybe applying for teaching jobs here in Toronto, college, university?
Now I am teaching with Northeastern University. So I was able to make it back to my field again. It took a while. It took a while for me to get there, but COVID did impact that. Like it would have been easier if it hadn't been for COVID for me to get to academia, because academia works differently. In academia, if you have the credentials, then you just need to be referred. It's not the same thing as business. It was actually, once I got all the credentials that I needed, it was easy to get the teaching position with Northeastern.
And maybe getting to know with all your story and experience, why did you finally decide, let me go to the media? Let me talk to Toronto Star.
I didn't go to the media. The media came to me. I actually didn't think about going to the media. I was just happy that I made it.
I'd like to know how that connection was established.
I met the Rania from Pecan. So she's an advocate for Arab women in Canada. And I talked to her about my struggles. Back when I didn't have any. When I had all the doors closed to me. And she was the one who helped me. Arrange very good connections until I met the CEO of the company that I was consulting with. So she was very, very helpful in that respect. And basically this journalist contacted her to ask her about if she knows any immigrant women who are successful, and she suggested me. So I actually didn't go to the media. They went.
That's great. And it's through your connection with your friend, then you connected there.
It's through the connection. So if I didn't reach out to her, no one would have heard about me.
Would you, in your own opinion, would you say the pandemic had a role to play with these barriers you faced, if you assess that?
In the academia, yes. In the business, no. Because I could see, it was obvious, when the pandemic hit, I there was no job posting for teachings. The job postings disappeared, but the job postings for project management, they were there. They were still there. So the demand was there, despite the pandemic. The pandemic, I know for a fact that it didn't impact the project management side, but I know that it did impact the teaching side.
And most of the jobs in robotic internet jobs increased pretty much.
Exactly. It boomed actually in IT. So that's why I know for a fact that the pandemic wasn't a factor. At least from the project management perspective.
And sorry, I just have this flow of chain of thoughts going. Would you say this impacted, talking about impact, would you say this impacted your mental health in some ways, these barriers which you
definitely there was a time when I felt down I mean anyone in my place would feel would feel the same, especially after months of struggling and you see yourself in a place where where you should be in a better place because of your qualification and you've been through a lot. I mean, I'm not talking just about myself. I know that this is the case of many immigrants like me. But I kept the faith because I know who I am. I know my potential, and I know that there will be a door opening. So
absolutely.
So I just had to keep the fight until I made it.
And with even talking to the media, did you have that faith? I'm sure this message will touch someone.
Well, yes. Because right after the article went out, I had hiring managers telling me that they are shocked that this happened to me.
Oh yeah! Wow.
So hiring managers have no idea about the struggles that immigrants are feeling every day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they even said, "Why do we have to read about you on an article? Why didn't we get you from a recruiter?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this is a reality. It's not everyone that's biased. It's not the situation for everyone, but it is impacting a huge portion of immigrants who come here, and some of them actually decide to go back. I have my friends, I know them, and they struggled like me, and they had to go back because they had no choice. They had jobs in their home, and they couldn't find jobs here. While they are actually very qualified to get those jobs.
Being optimistic actually pays off.
Absolutely.
And sometimes not everyone has that thick skin to keep their confidence up or to keep going when times get really, really tough. But from your story, I can tell that putting yourself out there and making yourself vulnerable actually would open you doors.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I kept the faith. I know that I know that God would help me get to where I want to go. I just need to give it my all. Yeah. So I had to give it my all.
And you said that even some of the employers were saying we are not supposed to hear this from media. Why are we?
They were shocked. They didn't know how it could be possible for someone as qualified as I am to have such a hard time finding a position. And that's how I know how important this is. That the message needs to be transmitted because there is a barrier here. Hiring managers have no idea of what's going on the other side. Recruiters are just worried about the 80% list, checking the box and not really care about the character of the person, whether the person actually fits the job and is actually would actually be able to handle it. And that's what the hiring manager wants. They want someone who can handle the job, someone who fits the 80% box. And that's where the disconnect I feel is.
And I don't know what build up that disconnect between the employer and people applying, and especially with the immigrants. I've met a lot of immigrants who have ton of experiences, but I think that having a recruiter in between, checking those boxes, this one doesn't have this one A, B, C, D, E, then it limits the chances for even this one having a chance to be interviewed.
Absolutely. Most of the jobs that I, after the article, I was called for jobs. I wouldn't hit 80% of the boxes for them. But they felt that I am more than qualified for it. Because I have a very unique set of skills. Because of my experience. Because I as an immigrant, I am adaptable. That sends a message. I can adapt to change. That I am flexible and whatnot. And this is an advantage that hiring managers know, but unfortunately most recruiters don't really see that.
That's the reality of many immigrants. I've spoken to lots of people who come here and they happen to actually have been overqualified. And sometimes, like what you just said, it results to them going back home because they feel they didn't get the right amount of support.
Absolutely.
Or maybe it results to a mental health situation where they get depressed or go through an emotional.
Oh, I've seen it happen. Seen it happen. Some of my friends, they went through a very, very difficult mental situation where they were depressed. They they felt like that everything is closed. All doors are closed in front of them.
Literally, you've given up everything you had. You've left your family. You've left everything you had back home, and here you are putting yourself out there, making yourself vulnerable, trying to find something better for your family as well, and you're just getting all these doors shutting at you at the same time. That could be really difficult
But
and
the
challenging.
one thing that got me going is knowing that this is not the situation for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
That I just have to get through the blockage of recruiters. That I know that there are people who actually want me.
Yeah.
So knowing this, I knew that I just needed to keep going.
Yeah.
It was difficult, but I knew in my heart that I will be able to make it.
Okay.
And thank God I was able to.
Okay, yeah. Talking of this of depression, and I just read an article that I think suicide rate of international students is spiking in 2022.
Wow.
And it's all contributing to stress, economic stress, and the struggle immigrant youth are going through. Yeah. And do you think like telling these stories will pretty much change the lives of other newcomers or immigrants who are coming to the country?
Well, I hope so. I hope that the message would reach, hiring managers and people in government to try to start conventions to bridge the gap between the hiring manager who want to hire the immigrants and the immigrants who are here who are faced with this blockage because there are other applicants that have local experience and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
So I do hope that this message will reach and some action will be taken.
Oh yeah.
Because this has been a silent challenge not just for me but for many immigrants like me, specifically women immigrants as well.
Yeah.
Because there's a huge bias against women immigrants that they are. That they may not be able to perform as well as a male.
Yes.
And that's a bias that needs to change because men and women are both capable of the same thing.
Yeah.
And we need to change this ideology that the gender has anything to do with performance.
Yeah.
If anything, you would find some women are actually better, more motivated than men in their work.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, because they do it with passion, and they are following their passion. They're not. They don't have to do it. They are following what they want, what they love.
Yeah.
So I do hope that this message will reach and some action will be taken.
Oh yeah, and that being said, do you think maybe your gender played a part in the struggle you encountered?
I wouldn't know because I have no idea of knowing that, but there was a situation where I did feel that the gender played a role. Mm-hmm. I was seeing after I finished the bridging program with Ryerson, I was seeing my classmates. So we have the same degree, we have who have the same certification as I was, getting jobs when I was not getting even a first interview.
Oh yeah.
So I've seen it happen. So they were male, and they were able to find jobs. I was reading it on LinkedIn, and I was still struggling to find a job.
Oh wow, wow. And maybe on another note, with your experience that you encounter coming to this country, the struggle finding a job, what advice do you have for immigrant women and even men who are coming to this country? Qualified or with education, ton of experiences, looking for a better life?
Well, the first thing is doing due research about the programs that they want to go to, whether their profile is actually needed, where they are going. Yeah. Most of immigrants, they just choose the place that would fit them financially. And that's a bad move. Yeah. You want to go to the place where your profile is actually needed. Yeah. You also want to build the network before coming to Canada. So you want to build those relationships way before you can set foot on Canada. And you need to look for what kind of certifications are needed. I would have liked to have the information that I need, the PMP and other certifications before coming to Canada. And I could have, tried to get those before coming so that I didn't have that much trouble once I got here. So basically due diligence. And it would be difficult. And let's face it, it's a reality. But that doesn't mean that it's impossible. It doesn't mean that you can't find the position. You just need to keep reaching out. There will be someone who will lay a hand.
Yeah, for sure.
There will be.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
You just have to keep the faith, and everything will work out.
And with your experience, do you think maybe coming to Canada, for example, if I was a manager back home, do you think it's good to pretty much downgrade the experiences and lower my expectations?
No, I don't believe so because I tried that. I tried to downgrade. Like after I got the PNP, I got split advice.
Yeah.
Some of the professionals were telling me that my profile is too scary and I need to downgrade, and others were telling me, no, just continue. Reaching out, you will find that one door.
Yeah.
So I tried both ways. So I tried downgrading. And what all that did is that it took the edge, my edge, the edge that I had over other candidates, like it took it out and took it away. So I was just, a normal applicant without anything, special. Yeah. And obviously I wasn't picked for jobs, and I could understand that because there were other applicants that had a better profile.
Yeah.
So so I realized that it wasn't doing me any good. So I put back everything, like literally everything that I've ever done. Like I put it all there, in black and white. And I decided, okay, if someone is going to be scared of my profile, then they don't deserve me to be, part of their organization. So so I'm just gonna, try the ones who actually want someone like me.
Yeah.
And, and actually, I ended up not being employed anywhere. And that's how I started consulting.
You've been listening to the Immigrant Experience, a program we hope will have an impact on the future of newcomer immigrants and Canada at large. We hope you enjoyed the show, and if you did, make sure to subscribe, like, and share. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, hook up with us on Instagram at @Anyo_2021. #The Immigrant Experience. See you guys next time.